So why do I do what I do? Why does Wim do what he does? When I first started with tech, I was tinkering at home when I was like 12 or 13. I just wanted to explore and learn and fix things. I always loved that, reading, researching, learning, building, making things better. Now instead of doing that on tech, I'm doing that on the business. Leadership, sales, marketing, vision, myself, strategy, my health. I want to be an example both personally and as a company. So I just feel there aren't many out there that I've been able to really follow as being my hero. I want to prove that it's possible to build a great company and while still playing full on in all areas of life, family, health, sleep, church, faith, etc. I think one reason I got into tech is to avoid relating, just being introverted. Go hide in the back room at home and play with the computer. Now, ironically, I've shifted to focus on people and relationships instead of technology. As the old saying goes, we're in the people business and just happen to help people with their computers and their technology. A lot of what we do in technology is about helping people to communicate and relate better. And I feel just a huge responsibility of we can ruin people's business with bad technology, but we can also really accelerate and leverage what they're doing, really help them. Classic failures I've made is hiring the wrong people. I feel like I've made all the mistakes that other people told me not to do. Keeping the people who were not a fit too long. Borrowing too much money. I've been too optimistic sometimes. I've not let go of my babies so they could actually grow up. I've not let people do their jobs. Or even told them what their job is, so they're just floating around. Fearing confrontation and delaying important conversations. I've had poor control on numbers and reporting. I've suffered from trying to multitask, dealing with urgent-looking small things instead of high-level important tasks, working in instead of on the business. I've wasted years chasing bright, shiny objects. And I've given up, or haven't given up on certain products and clients or ideas or people, whatever it might be, on time. Or just not listening. Some of my better decisions have been implementing Traction EOS as my business operating system, fully committing to the entire system with the proper visionary integrator roles, the metrics, the rocks, the goals, all the things. Hiring an EA, an executive assistant, and one of the best decisions. As I heard on the video I watched last year, anybody with 10 or more employees or $1 million of revenue is committing malpractice by not having one. It's been super powerful to me. Upscaling our office, we moved to a new office last year and providing standing desks to everyone has really improved the energy in the office and the vibe. That translates into everything we do, whether it's helping our clients or marketing. How you do something is how you do everything. And just having time to think bigger and not keeping us or myself small. Some of the lessons from the last couple of years is really digging into emotional intelligence. We all operate primarily on emotions and feelings, not on the rational mind. So we're putting a lot more attention into that. And realizing that everyone has issues and baggage, including myself. This has given me a lot more compassion for others. I realized that mental health is a huge thing. And while I thought I was always healthy, when I actually did a self-assessment, I was kind of shocked. It was a wake-up call. So we're doing better in this area. So like if somebody has the flu, they stay home. But if they have a mental flu, whether it's anxiety or just being overwhelmed, what do? Do we say, suck it up and push through? These are things we need to think about. And learning to properly delegate, using tools like Gracie to understand who is responsible, accountable, consultant, or only informed. That's helped me dissect what I do just by gut and experience and turn it into a team effort so we can scale. I love going through some powerful mind games. For example, what would I do if I was a hired gun CEO to drive growth and profit in this business? Then go and do it. And would I hire me? If not, why not? And go and fix that. Would I invest in my company? If I was a VC, would I put money in my company? If I was an angel or a VC? If not, why not? Then go and fix it. Another lesson, just shifting away from ADD behavior. I read all the books last year. I'm like, I've got ADD. But just working through that in the last year, I'm like, hey, I'm not that anymore. Just by putting the tool and the environment in place to support focus. And day planning, morning mindset planning, and even journaling using the Brendan Bouchard's High Performance Day Planner has been huge to improve my mental state and productivity. Check that out. On hiring, which was one of the topics for today, in the early years, I got busy and hired people that I just ran into. They seemed nice and good enough. I always did the best with what I knew at that time, but it got ugly sometimes. I assumed people would just figure stuff out and do a good job. And when it was going sideways, I didn't free them up early for something else that would be a better fit for them. We are now applying marketing concepts to hiring to build a consistent pipeline of candidates while reducing recruiting costs. Now we really understand their role first, get super clear on it, what will they be doing, and then when we get a candidate, ensure nobody on our team sees any red flags. If there was one red flag, they will take a pass. The cost of a false start is just too high. We have a clear onboarding roadmap to make them successful and then provide as much support as we can. So it's hire slow and fire slow. Just make sure we've done 100% of what we can do to support them. So, avoiding dilution. There are many tech startups that to me seem to be putting an unhealthy amount of time into raising money, building complex business plans, pitching nonstop, and spending so much time on raising capital that they don't actually have time to go and sell their product to clients or making sure they're providing good service. So far, I've been able to avoid that. I'll get into some more of that. A basic rule is don't work for free, don't give your service, your time, your product away for free. Start with a higher price, you can always offer a creative incentive or discount. And not assuming people don't have the money or won't pay more than X amount. And often we're taking ourselves out of the game by underselling and shortcutting ourselves. The client's money to spend on ours. Shred tax credits are obviously one, as mentioned. We've had a loan from BDC in the past, but that's like 10 years ago, and I learned to meet things this morning, so I'll definitely talk to them again as well. Nearly all of our growth is self-funded using profit from service revenue. There are many grants available for hiring. We've used them for youth hires and co-op students. We've used the NRC IRAP youth program for new grads and ongoing projects. Speaking of NRC IRAP, I learned earlier this year they have a funded CMT program where you can get a certified management consultant for 40 hours. So check into that. Networking with other tech CEOs, whether it's peer groups, events like this, has been very useful to just keep feelers out there for what's there. A lot of these grants and programs, the money doesn't get spent, it goes back to general government revenue because people don't know about the programs. Customer-funded growth. This topic is dear to me because I've seen what happens when companies build cool products but can't sell them and they burn all their runway. Give away their equity, they rack up the debt, and don't get anywhere. Pre-selling your product forces you to find a great product market fit that people are excited about. So solve real problems and get commitments up front before you write a line of code. Then build the minimum thing required. Launch, get it into people's hands, and then iterate from there. Too many companies spend a fortune on building and then suck at selling. Why not flip it around, get the clients, then build exactly what they want? I've learned that while launching your product from within a services business, it's important to keep things separate though. So having dedicated developers, salespeople for it, and not having them sell services or do services plus build a product. Because the product will always get lower priority and you just never get it out there. There certainly is a time and place to raise money. And actually later today I'm going to pitch for the first time on one of our products. But do so wisely. I've seen too many companies put a ton of effort into it, get a bad deal, not actually sell, and then just fizzle. I think timing is important, not doing it too early, but not too late either. On getting good advice. I've utilized coaches, advisors, mentors, psychologists, therapists, and just listening, implementing mind shifts, working on myself that way. Not all of them are paid. Most of them are. Sometimes it's just having a coffee or lunch with that key person who's been there maybe 10 years ahead of you and picking their brain or getting them to challenge you on a certain part of what they're doing. Peer groups are highly recommended. I'm in the ACETEC CEO group. I'm in some other groups as well. But you have to put effort into it. Make sure it's working. Make sure the group they're clear on what you need and what you're doing. I love conferences. If anything, it just gets me out of the office and the daily grind and having time to think bigger while I'm traveling and such. Networking and learning from those who have gone before me. I highly recommend the Chilliwack Leader Meetup. It's a weekly book study on leadership groups. There's 2 groups in Chilliwack. It's great to study these books and have great discussions and accountability. You can work through it, not only read it, but discuss it and implement it. And teaching and sharing with others is a great way to increase my own learning as well. Upcoming projects is looking forward a little bit. We're building out multi-year career trajectories for every employee to keep them bought in and know where they're going and empower them that way. I'm shedding off more of my hats so I can be purely the visionary and CEO of the company. I've been putting more time into fast-tracking growth just by removing what's in the way of growth, whether it's workflow, communication, the meetings, whatever it might be. And we're changing the business model yet again. It feels like this happens every couple of years, and this is just the nature of technology as we mature and experiment. By supporting multiple business units, as Michael mentioned, we've got 3 brands right now, but being able to support more and doing it in a successful way, embracing remote talent. I know we won't be able to get 100 people in Chilliwack, this is not possible in the short term, so how do we embrace people in other cities or working from home? And moving away from trading time for money to higher leverage value-based pricing models. And figuring out how to cut back my hours even more while scaling. We're starting to wrap our heads around what a merger or acquisition would look like. I've stayed away from it, I've seen them go sideways so often. And learning and practicing more public speaking. I want to do this more often. And personally, I'm starting to learn Greek. It's kind of fun. Thank you. Any questions or?
Where do you think you're going to be able to find like more of the technical people that you're going to need, like the coders, the operations people? Like, are you going to be able to find those in the valley, or are you going to need to import, or are you going to have to start doing?
I think they're here. I'm doing better at leveraging junior people coming right out of UFE. Yeah. So attracting those, taking them from ground level and mentoring and growing them. Yeah. But there's some other skill sets that are hard to get of what you learn in UFE, even with a 1-year degree, is almost useless to us. Just IT support, you think it's a basic skill, but not necessarily there. So there's a lot of training we do with the processing tools.
So you're talking like the people skills to be able to provide
people
support?
Skills and just operational tools, time management, mindset. It's huge. Tech is huge. It's just exploded in the last 20 years. Yeah, so I don't know. Every company struggles with hiring people, so we put a lot of time into that. It's almost a full-time thing, and we're a small company, but I know it's important is investing into our current people as well as attracting new ones.
So if it's difficult to attract people, how can that really be? Is it a recruiting problem, or is it because if you look at the population in, let's say, Vancouver, they're paying for $2 million house, expensive childcare.
Remotely, or would you consider moving to Chilliwack? And nobody wanted to move. And working remotely 1 day a week, no problem. But when I said, well, what about like 90% of your time you come in like 1 day a week maybe to Chilliwack? Well, oh no, like I can't work from home. So those are the interesting things. I'm like, okay, let's focus on local, and I don't, when somebody says I'm in Surrey and I want to drive into Chilliwack, I'm like, yeah, that's not good long term for you or for us. We'll probably disappear in a year or two.
That's really interesting, because I think that's kind of I believe the opposite. I believe it's possible.
Yeah.
I'm from the recruiting world, so
yeah.
I actually do believe that. I think the challenge is going to be to create some of that needed infrastructure in this community, and I don't know the community enough yet, but I think there's some lacking infrastructure to attract those individuals to come. So it's a really good conversation topic.
Yeah, we've definitely heard people who moved here and then they look for a local job. Whether it's from other countries or from the city and districts, they want the lifestyle of Chilliwack or Abbotsford, and then they come to us.
And part of the challenge, of course, if you're from the tech industry, is you want an ecosystem, right? So you want to be able to, if you leave one company, you got to find another one. And if there's no tech companies here, it's a problem. Then they have to go back to Vancouver or somewhere else. So part of the discussion today, I think, is really important, is how does the city and the new organizations that are here to attract technology companies work together to do that? Because you need a couple of anchor tenants to grow that ecosystem.
And they're not here yet, right?
Right.
Because the people that we need are not what Stream or whatever they're called now. full month. It's a very different person. But yeah, we're part of just overall marketing awareness that I've been running my business in Chilliwack in an office building for 10 years. And people are like, who are you? Like, what is this? Construction? No, it's not construction, it's technology. So just getting the word out there and doing events and online marketing, SEO, and that. We're also, as of, we just are sponsoring some scholarships with the local high schools and UFE. So that'll come up for next year. Just getting awareness with the younger people. I think that's the key for all of this. Not just importing talent from other countries, but working with young people. They've got to get interested when they're like 14, 15, not when they're 25.
All right, we have time for one more question. Gurwinder will bring the microphone around to you. Somebody has a question here.
Earlier, sorry, two questions. Earlier you mentioned there are two groups in Chilliwack that meet and discuss books around leadership. What were those groups? And also in your presentation you mentioned that if you see even one red flag in hiring, you just don't hire them. Can you maybe talk about some of the red flags that you have come across?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. So the website for the Leader Meetup is called leadermeetup.com, I believe. Is there anybody here from that's in the groups? Ah, Steve is here. So Steve is with Imperial. He's my friend of me. He's my local competitor. And he hosted one of the groups in his office. So him and his team actually coordinate the groups. So you can speak more to that just in the back there. But one's at Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. And the other one's Friday at noon at his office. So, and then on hiring red flags is from the simple things in the cover letter of is there spelling mistake, is there grammar, have they done their research, looking at that, looking at the resume, looking at their online profile, or are they showing up in time, how are they being dressed, are they challenging us in a good way or a negative way, just the energy, their personality issues, core value conflicts. Core values is huge, they've got to match every single over 5 core values. So there's questions we don't ask directly like, well, do you have respect? Because everyone will say, well, I have respect. But are they respecting us? We're looking at the traits of that, or there's behavioral questions. Like one we ask is, what technology do you play with at home? So it's for a technical role, not so much for a sales or marketing or admin, but for a technician, is we want them curious with technology and learning on their own, not just going by what the textbook says. So asking questions